I'm going to be doing a solo overnighter here tonight, and it's raining. So I got the tarps and stuff put up so I have a spot to set, and so I can dry some firewood out and try to keep my fire going. These are a lot of new improvements to the camp. And then inside here, I made a sort of a fireplace. That way the rocks will heat up and keep me warm in there at night, so I don't have to have a fire and I don't get smoked out. I also put a roof on there. There's a wood across there. So I'm gonna get to getting the fire going, start drying out some wood. So here's the view, guys, from inside my camp. That blue tarp, I only got that on there so I can set outside of my camp tonight. I got some butterfly cut deer steak, and then I have some noodles that I'm going to boil up and put some beef seasoning in it. Butterfly cut deer steak. Nice spring and summer's on its way. See the green coming back out here. Makes it look so much better. Oh, that's hot. Water's boiling. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dump these noodles in. Boiling over the top. That ain't done. I decided to use this for my silverware. But I had to put this out. We'll leave that. Put some seasoning on these. That's good. The rain quit for a bit. It's awesome. Even with them burning a bit, they're still good. I put beef seasoning, beef bouillon in it. Nice, good juicy steak. Our midnight campfire stories is what we're gonna call it. It's gonna be a series. When I was younger, if I'd have knew some of the stuff I knew now, and being when I was homeless, it wouldn't have been as hard if I knew some of the stuff that I know now. So I just went and collected a bit more firewood and put some more on the fire to get it going. I got me a bit of dry wood in there for tonight, just in case. I don't know if I'm even going to light the fire in there, or I may light one and heat the rocks in there up, and then that should radiate heat back in there to me all night long. And another thing I made right there, I just pounded those into the ground and then just weaved some rope in there as a backrest, so that way I can sit right there and have somewhere to lean up against. Up with a little drawstring that I made. I'll show you guys how to do those. I watched Joe Robinette do it. That's where I learned it. That way it'll shed some rain off there. I can sit underneath there in front of the fireplace and be dry. See them storm clouds. So it's about 8:30. I'll let this just gonna sit and hang out for a bit, but probably about an hour before I go to bed, I want to start a fire in there in my little heater that I built in there. There'll be too much smoke going back, so I'm just going to start a fire in there, heat it up. It'll heat them rocks up, and then those rocks should hold heat and deflect that off into me, into my shelter for night. So I just made this little seat here. If it rains, at least I'll stay a little bit drier sitting here in front of the fire. It's better than sitting out into the open exposed. Plenty of room just for me to sit right here on this log. I made a backrest for it so I can lean back. So it was pretty good timing on starting that so it can heat up because it quit raining out here. I was homeless, kicked out, and on the wrong path. I ended up doing something really dumb that could have ended up ruining my whole life. My buddy John White would come down and visit every so often. And when he came down, he noticed that I was struggling and in need of some real help. So he let me come home with him and give me a place to stay for a few days until eventually he ended up asking his parents if I could stay with him. they're a good Christian family. Don and Kelly White ended up inviting me into their home as their own son. Don was working for NASA or the airlines at the time, so he was getting transferred to Florida. So we ended up moving to Florida, and life was going perfect. I was assistant manager of Subway that I worked at, going to a good church, and things that they taught me, it just stuck with me. If I wouldn't have known and done those things, I would have ended up dead or in prison a long time ago. Just because that family brought me in and treated me the way that they did and all that, it ended up sticking with me for a long way in life. So Don, Kelly, John, I appreciate everything you guys done for me. One more quick story. I used to be a traveling salesman going door to door selling magazines. Well, we was in Baltimore, Maryland, and everybody on the company that I worked for, they like to smoke weed. So I decided one day when I got off early, I got a hold of the weed dealer first. But fast forward back in that day, I didn't know a boy had robbed all of our rooms and then gave this guy all of our information, as much money as our manager carried, what time we got back, everything. Well, he ended up ripping me off, and when my buddies got back, we went over to his hotel, a little ghetto, shady, rundown hotel in Baltimore, Maryland. Well, they didn't think 5 white boys would go up in there. When we knocked on the door, me and my best friend Lucas, we ended up getting pulled into the hotel room, gun pulled on us. When I had a chance, I pulled my knife out of my pocket, scared for my life. I didn't know whether to stab him and us try to run for it, or if I would have stabbed him and just ended up in a bunch of trouble, so I didn't. Next thing I know, our hands are zip tied behind our back as we're being led to our room. Luckily, my buddy Lucas ended up getting a text out to one of the boys outside and warned our friends and our boss. Well, as we're getting brought into the bathroom, I remember being lowered down to my knees, my head over the bathtub with my buddy Lucas. We hear the gun cock, then we hear an explosion. I thought life was over then. But it was the Baltimore police. Busted in the door, threw in concussion grenades, smoke grenades. They ended up getting us out. Luckily, this guy was on his 3rd strike. He was meeting a guy from out of state that he was planning on robbing and killing, and then he was going to rob our boss. So I would have ended up dead that night if it wasn't for the quick thinking of my buddy Lucas. So guys, it's 5 o'clock. I just got up, stoked this fire, and as well as the fire out there. Got a pounding headache right now.
hopefully it goes away. Well guys, it's 5:30 in the morning. I just got up and stoked the fire, cover up, and put on my extra clothes for when the fire burns out. I'll see you guys in the morning. Guys, it's 8 o'clock. We'll head back down and get out and get the fire started. Fires are completely out. It's pouring to rain, so I don't think I'm gonna cook breakfast. I'm probably just gonna pack my stuff up and get ready to hike one out of here. Well, I slept real good last night. Stayed warm, but it's pouring right now, so I'm just gonna pack up all my stuff and get ready to hike one out of here.